Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. This is a mature cataract with a large pterygium. I have excised this pterygium and I have used the conjunctiva of the pterygium itself as graft. The graft has been accepted very well, so the conjunctiva of the pterygium itself, if the pterygium is large, can be used as graft and it is accepted very well. Now I have taken up this case for surgery. Let us observe the surgical steps. The main incision has been placed by this time, and this is a paracentesis on the left side of the main incision. And now a big air bubble is injected into the anterior chamber, and then trypan blue 0.06% dye is injected beneath this air bubble onto the anterior capsule. And then the dye is washed out. Why I wash the dye out? I have some hypothesis. There can be some molecules in the dye which can cause TAS. Now if we wash the dye out at this stage, most of the dye will come out. Otherwise, some molecules of this dye goes under the iris, sticks to the iris, and it may not get removed thoroughly during the course of the surgery. So I wash the dye out. Now after injecting visco in the anterior chamber, capsulorhexis is being done. Since this is a non-intumescent white cataract, rhexis is being done at one go. This is not a circular rhexis, but this is a fairly acceptable rhexis. Little bit of hydrodissection is done. The cataract is such that hydrodissection is optional. You may not do hydrodissection if the cataract is like this. Now methyl cellulose is injected again. Now the tip of the Phaco handpiece is to be introduced into the anterior chamber. The machine being used is Ocular Cataracts 3. The tip goes bevel down facing the nuclear mass, and then some superficial cortical lens matter is removed. Then the handpiece is turned and the bevel faces the corneal endothelium. Now the tip is buried into the substance of the nucleus, and then the nucleus is chopped. This is a small chopper. It is known as Mohanta micro chopper. It is just a modification of Sensky hook. I designed this and it is commercially available. And now the nucleus is being emulsified and removed. The nuclear fragments, this is the last fragment. During this time, sometimes I remove the chopper, but in this case I didn't do that. The nucleus has been managed, and now some visco is injected into the anterior chamber, and then cortical cleanup is to be done. Since there is only one paracentesis, I am going to use a 23G Simcoe for cortical cleanup. We can use a coaxial IA, but coaxial IA and this instrument serves the same purpose. And now I'm going through the side port and removing the sub-incisional cortex. Yes, cortical cleanup is almost complete. You can see some opacities on the cornea. This is because the pterygium was firmly adherent to the cornea and I could not get a smooth surface. However, the central area is smooth and the patient will get good vision. This is hydro polish. Only the irrigating probe is being used to polish the posterior capsule. The fluid jet displaces the lens epithelial cells from the posterior capsule, and the posterior capsule becomes very clean. So polishing of the posterior capsule is done, and now 2% HPMC again. This is a Hoya intraocular lens preloaded system, and the lens advances if we screw the piston. So we need both hands. In such cases, I use viscoelastic substance for getting the nucleus in the capsular bag. Yes, the lens has gone in the capsular bag. It is being checked by the Sinskey hook whether it has gone in the capsular bag or not. If you can hook the rhexis margin over the lens, then the lens is behind the rhexis margin, meaning the intraocular lens is in the capsular bag. And now the visco that has been used for implantation of the intraocular lens is to be removed thoroughly. First, I use the 23G Simcoe to partially remove the visco. Irrigate for some time and then aspirate for some time. About 70% viscoelastic substance comes out by Simcoe. Now I irrigate with the irrigating probe of bimanual IA, and most of the visco comes out. I go behind the lens, irrigate the capsular bag so that there is no visco remains behind the bag. At this time, the irrigating probe lifts the anterior leaf, and the side port is used for aspiration. Yes, the antechamber does not become shallow if we lift the anterior leaf of the main incision. And now this is hydration of corneal stroma on either side of the paracentesis. What happens? The stroma becomes thick and the stab wound closes. The main wound is constructed in such a way that it doesn't require any hydration. And this is formation of anterior chamber. The antechamber is formed very nicely, and now the integrity of the wounds are checked. There should not be any leakage from any side, and then the case is concluded. See the graft area, it looks so beautiful. So we started our journey from here and we have reached this point. So it has been a very satisfactory journey. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will help you in developing your surgical skills. Be a great surgeon and serve your patients with love, respect, compassion, and great surgical competence.